And you just heard White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders fielding quite a few questions about General Flynn. Of course, the left-leaning White House press corps ignored the fact that Judge Emmett Sullivan came back into back into the courtroom after lunch and said he apologized, basically said he regretted using words like treason and implying that General Flynn was acting that way while National Security Advisor. Let me bring in our good friend Larry Klayman, former federal prosecutor, for more on this. Larry, good to see you.
You too, John. Fascinating.
Fascinating morning, Larry. You know, what I thought, and you and I have spoken about this, I thought this was going to be a 15, 20-minute hearing this morning. Flynn would maintain his guilty plea. The judge would have followed the sentencing recommendation, no jail time, some probation. But, man, it was a drama. It did not work out that way. What do you make of all this?
First of all, let me say this, is that Tom Fitton, my former colleague at Judicial Watch, is not a lawyer. I agree with him. There probably will be a pardon. Now, here's the thing. I believe that Sullivan was sending a message to Trump with this treason comment that General Flynn committed treason, in effect, telling him, do not give him a pardon. But I'm going to walk back a little bit. You know, I've been critical of lawyers of President Trump, and the lawyers that have been representing Mike Flynn have done even a worse job, in my opinion, and that's not just professional jealousy or anything like that. They should have raised these issues of the way General Flynn was interrogated at the outset, and they should have made an issue of it then and sought to quash any potential indictment. They sat back, and now they put General Flynn in a catch-22 situation where he basically had to accept the plea and admit that he lied. So it's a huge mess out there. And these lawyers, that's Covington and Burling. That's a Democrat law firm of Eric Holder, former Attorney General under Obama, Lanny Brewer, former head of the criminal division under Obama. They created a huge mess for their client. And frankly, General Flynn has had ineffective assistance of counsel here.
You know, I thought that myself this morning, Larry. I mean, look, I wasn't in the courthouse, a lot going on behind the scenes, but I said, man, for a case of this magnitude, these lawyers, General Flynn's lawyers, sure seem tepid. I mean, we see all of this nonsense, the 302s. Mueller's office still hasn't sent over the original 302. We don't know if it exists, the witness report that's taken by FBI agents after an interview. And then they go into court, and Judge Sullivan starts the hearing this morning, Larry, by essentially admonishing the government, saying he had serious concerns, asking Flynn 5 times if he wanted to withdraw the plea. And the way I read it, and I want to get your analysis, correct me where I'm wrong, was when General Flynn maintained 5 times, nope, this is all accurate, I lied, I did it, he left the judge no choice. The judge had to turn around and then say, well, then you're a bad guy. You were the National Security Advisor. You just admitted to me 5 times you lied. You're saying that everything the FBI did was right, and they followed the rules, and they did their jobs properly. Well, then the only conclusion I can draw is you're the bad guy. What could Flynn have done? Would he have hurt himself if, when the judge asked if he felt the interview was improper, I'm paraphrasing, and a host of other questions like that? Would Flynn have been better served, Larry, by saying, yeah, we do feel the interview was handled improperly. We do feel like we're under duress. We did feel coerced.
I believe he would have been better served. I would have believed he'd been better served if he fires lawyers right in front of Judge Sullivan. Judge Sullivan's an honest man. I know him. You know, he's Democrat appointed by Clinton, but he's the one judge on that bench that's a Democrat, frankly, that has a lot of integrity that I've been in front of so far. Maybe there are others, but I haven't been in front of any. And Flynn did himself a disservice. He worked himself into a corner, and the lawyers that he had did himself a disservice. You can't take both sides of the fence. You can't throw it out there that maybe the indictment should be dismissed because I was interrogated without my Miranda rights, and then say, okay, I lied, I accept the plea. I mean, this is theater of the absurd. So I don't understand what they're doing, but he needs new lawyers quickly.
Let me ask you about that, Larry, because there was quite a bit of debate, extensive debate, really, on social media about that very issue, about Miranda. Now, when I was in law enforcement, Miranda was necessary if you had a suspect in custody and were going to interview that suspect. Well, the argument here is, well, General Flynn wasn't in custody. He was free to leave that interview at any time. Hell, it was in his office. He was free to kick the FBI out of the White House at any time. And so there's the argument from those saying, well, Miranda didn't apply here. There was no need for Miranda, is that he wasn't in custody. However, Robin Gritz, the former FBI agent, National Security Branch FBI agent, excoriated, her career ruined by Andrew McCabe. General Flynn went to bat for her. Robin Gritz put out a tweet saying, hold on, not so fast. the FBI, especially the National Security Branch agents, need to Mirandize anyone if they intend to use the statements of that person in an incriminating or inculpatory way. Now, that wouldn't be the legal definition of where you would need Miranda, but it would certainly shine a light of impropriety on the FBI. Who's right?
Robin Gritz is right. If you're a target, okay, if they're coming after you and they know that they're coming after you, the feds, they have to give you your Miranda rights. And in this case, you had subterfuge, trickery, and whatever. Comey admitted that. What an arrogant individual he is to say, okay, I got away with it. You know, he knows that both the Democrat and the Republican establishments, you know, on Capitol Hill and elsewhere, want to take down this president. He thinks he has protection. The FBI thinks they have protection. The FBI and my former alma mater, the Justice Department, of which the FBI is a part, has not just become the Department of Injustice. They've become a criminal enterprise. And we see that here, and we see that in other areas with my client Jerome Corsi and everywhere else. And the American people are at the point that they've had it. And, you know, we're trying in every way we can, John, you with your commentary on Newsmax, me with what I'm doing legally, et cetera, to prevent violence from breaking out. But I don't think we're far away from that right now, because if you don't have a justice system, and if you have a Justice Department that's working against you, not me, not you, but there are people out there that are going to take the Antifa route to things. So this country's in serious jeopardy. We're in big trouble. And this whole Flynn thing emphasizes the game that is played in Washington, D.C. against the American people.
Larry Klayman. Larry, as usual, I agree with you. This was bad. Larry, always great to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, John. God bless.